Bro Lipsy, everybody out there that had stopped by. Big news from the motorsports world. It's very unbelievable that something like this would happen during this pandemic we're going through. Let's.
Damn. You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
That's right. How do you manage to get fired on your day off, Kyle Larson? That
Damn. You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
Anyway, so I'm in Discord. We got some people that would like to talk about this. I guess have a couple thoughts on it. How's it going, Jordan? Gentlemen, how you doing? Jordan, Just Cause, Lipsy, Ryan Wilson, and X-Man. How are you guys? Boom.
Um, yeah, gotta do schoolwork, unfortunately.
I got fired. I'm just
So
kidding.
if you don't know what's going on, Kyle Larson on Saturday had some language.
Sunday.
One word, yeah, one word that you shouldn't say if you're in a position at like in any kind of company or something like that.
I really wish Bubba Wallace was in there now so he could just go and berate the fuck out of him. Because that would have been really cool to see
Right.
Bubba Wallace defend himself.
And then yesterday, Credit One, McDonald's, all getting rid of Kyle Larson.
Admin Health didn't leave, surprisingly.
Didn't they kind of fire Kyle Larson, Credit One, and McDonald's yesterday?
Yeah.
And NASCAR, they probably want their sponsors to stick around, so they just suspended Kyle Larson. Maybe they were trying to, maybe he made a mistake. I don't know what they're thinking.
But now they're firing people.
But yeah, today Kyle Larson officially getting the axe from Chip Ganassi Racing.
Pink dress and the axe.
Yeah, and I can't believe it. I'm kind of shocked. I was doing a WWE video.
Yeah.
And,
what was it, the women's championship?
No. I was recording a video for today, and Slasher God says you can't hear me. Really? Where? Oh no. Okay. He's Slasher God is pulling the Kyle Larson thing right here. So, all right. So I wrote down a bunch of different things, and one of the main things I wrote down was. Would you ever think a NASCAR driver was going to get fired during this coronavirus outbreak? Like, would you guys ever think that? Like,
no.
I didn't think this would happen either.
Who would have thought you were going to get fired in a virtual race, by the way?
That too.
Scott
we
Speed.
created a poll.
Yes.
By the way, Kyle Larson
just full of trollers.
Real quick, let me get to this video here. Kyle Larson made an apology video.
I'm sorry. Last night I made a mistake and said the word that should never, ever be said. And there's no excuse for that.
Right now.
I wasn't raised that way. It's just.
I have a feeling he recorded this and he was thinking everything's gonna blow over.
Yeah.
I really don't see any pure emotion where he feels like his whole racing career is in jeopardy and basically tarnished.
An awful thing to say, and I feel very sorry for my family, my friends, my partners, the NASCAR community, and especially the African American community. I understand the damage is probably unrepairable, and I own up to that. But I just wanted to let you all know how sorry I am. And, I hope everybody is staying safe during these crazy times.
He did say the damage was unrepairable, so maybe he knew he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
He did also say he was going to own up to it. So what's next for the 42 here, boys? I've been reading a lot of different predictions.
All I heard is that Ross Chastain is going to be in the 42.
Right. The craziest suggestion I heard is Kerry Earnhardt in the 42. I don't think that will be happening.
Don't get that to the 42. What do you mean?
Okay, so with Kyle Larson being fired, what's going to happen with McDonald's and Credit One? Are they just going to go to the next driver?
Well, we're just going to be firing ourselves from Kyle Larson, not like we're leaving Chip Ganassi. So obviously they're still with Chip Ganassi. So honestly, I think if the driver who he's replacing, they'll just probably sponsor them. That's what I honestly think.
We made a straw poll. It said, did Kyle Larson deserve to be fired? 8 votes for no and 5 votes for yes. So some people kind of they like the outcome, I guess. I really didn't think he would get fired. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he deserved a second chance? Maybe he made a mistake.
I think he deserved a second chance. Everybody does.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think. Well, that is such a harsh comment in today's world. You know, back in the '90s, I think something like that would have been. It would have just slipped by. But social media nowadays, and like some people like to say, snowflake generation. This could be, that could be why he's fired here. So, but anyway, I'm gonna post this straw poll again right here in chat. So go ahead and vote. Did you guys have anything you want to express about Kyle Larson being fired?
NASCAR is pathetic.
All right, that's legendary right there.
Actually, correction. Chip Ganassi is pathetic.
Legendary. You've been pretty critical of this whole firing. Would you care to elaborate some more here?
As soon as my mouth is empty, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I just shoved some fries in my mouth.
Like the suspension's like acceptable, not like firing him. What the hell?
Honestly, when it comes down to it, with all the crap that's going on in this world right now and all the shit that we're dealing with, I honestly believe saying one word that wasn't directed to anybody is a pretty big over-exaggeration of things. And the fact that they sat there and they took away all his rights over this stupid little thing is beyond ridiculous. Like, honestly, you're telling me that people who go... Here's the comparison. When a driver fails a drug test, they're allowed to come back after like a month. They don't lose... Well, Allmendinger did lose his ride, but some others have not lost their rides. They've gotten back in. They've been competitive again, but yet Larson says one word, an immediate termination from his whole team, his everything.
I will say it was one word in a video game, and like I wasn't
that
even
didn't
watching.
Even matter.
So it wasn't like the entire world was watching, and
no, but because
it was just on Twitch.
Well, it's because there's nothing else to really concern yourself with right now. Honestly, everybody's just trying to find shit to blow out of proportion because they don't have all their typical drama they want. So now they have to make up drama, and that was the way to do it. And now Larson's
Donald
suffering.
Trump already gives that.
That was another thing I was thinking. Right now we're going through this crisis. Companies are losing money, and hey, if Credit One's like, I can save some money somehow right now, and this guy's being ignorant, let's say. So let's do something. Yeah, I think all companies are watching their money right now, and then you
Sad
got
thing
this
is,
going on.
He wasn't even being ignorant. What he said, honestly, was like, it just was ridiculous. I understand what he said is bad, but it's not really as bad as everybody claims it to be. Not like he just sat there and went out and threatened every black man in the friggin' country, or sat there and said, all you black people are niggers, so fuck you. He literally said it as a joke to his buddy because they were just sitting there hanging out having fun.
And then
yeah,
so they didn't even think they were live or anything like that.
No, they didn't.
He thought that his communication was only with his buddy, not with the entire group. And there is a button to do that, but he didn't hit it.
I think Kyle Larson isn't picking up the phone from that guy anymore, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. To go to racing in I don't want to say #1 motorsports in America, to all of a sudden he's gonna be back out on the dirt track. I'm assuming
They can't even run dirt. Lucas Oil has banned him, or not banned him, but suspended them, I should say.
Yeah, that's sponsorship. That's sponsorship.
Well, another thing is that he's also been suspended from iRacing as well, so he ain't going to iRacing for a while.
Yeah.
Makes an undercover account.
Decision, I believe, made by Nib Cross, who's the head official.
Mm-hmm.
But all the Kyle Larson fans
No, God!
basically
I don't think there's
screaming
any.
no.
No, God, please, no!
Diet Do
no!
Hunter on YouTube.
No!
He's lost already like 100 subscribers because of the way he was trash talking Kyle Larson.
Really?
Trash.
Wow.
Oh.
And people are saying how they're leaving him. You know, they're unsubscribing because he's being over dramatic about this. And he's like, "Good. I don't want anybody subscribing that's a racist."
That makes zero
That is
sense.
taken to another level.
Oh, he's going out of his way. He's a fucking full-fledged redneck. What do you expect? He should be the more racist of anybody.
So, real quickly,
Where the hell
this...
is even is he from? Like, south?
Probably. So is this the end of Kyle Larson? Will we see him in a Monster Cup car?
I think Tony will sign him next
Yeah,
year.
probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony Stewart signs him. I'm not sure.
Nah, I don't even see him going to Haas. He might need to
No,
go to
Stewart
Kurt
Haas.
Busch.
Tony's already said he wants him.
Yeah, but after this,
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's
he
still
might
not
have to
gonna
do
be
the Kurt
fans'
Busch route.
response.
He might have to go the 2012 Kurt Busch route. He might have to go to a lower team for about 1 or 2 years.
He was at a lower team. That's the sad part. Is Chip Ganassi's nothing compared to what some of these teams are. Like,
That
honestly.
is true. Well, you gotta put it this way: that Chip Ganassi is like they're a top tier team in like IndyCar and they used to be out in sports cars, but in NASCAR they were pretty good when they had Jamie McMurray and who else? Who else was with them?
Wasn't Marlon with them?
Still in Marlon?
Yeah. Wasn't he with them?
I believe so. And when Kyle Petty was with them as well, because he also was.
Fuck Kyle Petty.
And back then, they were really good, but now they've just fallen off the race all over time, and they are pretty much now a lower tier team. But honestly, in my opinion, I think Kyle Larson's probably gonna have to go to Rick Ware or another team.
No. Tony Stewart will scoop him up. I promise you. Stewart's not like the rest of them. He's not a coward.
Yeah, in like two or 3 years.
He won't race the rest of the season.
He's done for the season. He's done for the season.
He's done for this.
Am I the only one that thinks that Kyle Larson won't be in trucks, Xfinity, or Monster? I'm kind of thinking he might be out of NASCAR.
I think he's just going to go back down to the trucks.
He can't. He's been suspended indefinitely from NASCAR in general.
Yeah, he can't drive.
He can't run any of the top 3 series.
Until his suspension's gone.
He really
he can't even drive ARCA.
Back into the whole NASCAR scenario of life. Like,
hold on, can I point out something here? He went through the drive-through diversity program.
Yeah.
It makes it even worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, this is honestly just a big crock of shit that shouldn't have been ever brought up to begin with. It should have just been left aside. It was not even real racing, not even close, and yet they're sitting here acting like, oh, what he said impacts the whole world.
Yeah, I agree, and it honestly feels like blue email when they left Bubba Wallace.
It wasn't even live on TV. Like, what the hell?
No,
it was on iRacing. It was on Twitch.
Yeah, that's
Twitch,
it.
YouTube, and iRacing.
Blue MU leaving Bubba Wallace for rage quit. Now that was kind of overboard.
That was funny. That was straight up hilarious. I was laughing my ass off.
So you're telling me a guy who quits a race and stops completely racing for that is only allowed one sponsor loss, but yet a guy who says one word is immediately docked everything of his career?
I guess words are stronger than actions.
It's such a bad word too. Like there's probably one thing that would top that, and that might be like saying something bad against gay people or something.
Oh, you mean like how what is it? The spook is what some people used to. That was considered pretty bad.
Racism-wise, in today's world.
Who was it?
Like I said
God
last
forbid if
night.
Bubba were to say it, it wouldn't have been any problem at all. That's the sad part.
Like I said,
if it was Bubba who said it, it would have been all fine.
Yeah, because he's a black person. I'm sorry, but this country has become so fucking paranoid over black people versus white people versus Mexicans down, Cubans down in Florida. That's pretty much the three big races. And it's come down to the point now where they're sitting there basically saying anytime that a black man insults a white man, it's okay. But if a white man even says one damn thing about a black man, all of a sudden it's racism, it's hatred, it's this, that, and everything else. And it's like, come on, where's the fucking equality here? You guys sit here and beg for equality, and yet you sit here and pull this crap. And then when we say one thing, all of a sudden you're all up in arms, like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like, honestly.
Like I said last night, the world is very sensitive now.
Yeah.
Even
in this time of
there,
when the coronavirus is
there's one thing more important now than money or family or anything else in the world, and that's race. Race is the most valuable thing in this world.
No, it's actually your life because the coronavirus is going around.
Even it's even more bigger than that.
Okay, smarty.
Race matters so much in this world that, yeah, what Kyle Larson said is a word. I do agree with that. But at the end of the day, it's a bad word that a lot of people are going to get offended of due to the history of America.
Yeah.
And the way it is with that.
And do I agree on the firing? No. Do I understand the firing? Yes.
No, I don't. I don't understand the firing.
I
but
understand
it's
because
ridiculous.
here's the thing: I understand Chip Ganassi firing him because it is a bad word, and a lot of society now has to realize that.
No,
even though black people will say it, you still can't say it if you're a different race.
See, the sad thing about it, Ganassi didn't do it because he wanted to. Ganassi did it because he was basically forced to by social media and NASCAR, basically sitting here and trash talking him. He was scared for his team suffering because of this guy.
He also had no sponsors.
He had a couple. So I mean,
some big names. Yeah, he has
not
some
like he was
big
getting
name,
paid
big boss
anyways.
sponsors too. He had McDonald's on board. That's a big sponsor when it comes to NASCAR. It really is.
Yeah, because NASCAR, McDonald's has been in the sport for like over 30, 20 years.
I remember when they were with Austin Dillon's spot when he was racing someone give me his name. I forget. Oh, Andy Houston. That's his name.
Yeah, Andy Houston.
This is where Tony Stewart will come in handy.
Spencer before that.
Because Tony Stewart knows what he's doing.
Because he's not afraid. He doesn't give in to social media peer pressure. He doesn't give in to the crap that everybody else wants to. He knows when he sees a good racer, he's going to scoop him up at any cost. That's what he did with Boyer. That's what Suarez was kind of like a... But, and Danica.
Talk about Suarez.
But no, Almirola, he saw talent. Boyer, he saw talent. Kurt Busch, talent, because he knew they could race and he gave them the opportunity. What they do with that is totally up to them. But he saw the talent that nobody else saw and nobody else wanted to give a chance, and he'll do the same with Kyle Larson. I promise you.
Well, he also scooped up Kevin Harvick too.
Tony's going to scoop up Larson 2023.
Well,
2023, Larson goes to Haas.
Already
2023.
Good.
Harvick was pretty much going somewhere anyways. He was tired of Richard Childress racing, and rightfully so, with Austin and Ty, and Austin mostly. Ty Dillon's actually a good racer.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Like I said, he's going to Haas in 2023. I don't see him scooping up. He has to.
Unless Boyer leaves before this, which Boyer might leave. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Remember, Boyer's contract wasn't Boyer's contract up this year or something?
Last year.
Yeah, he re-signed last year for like 1
year. For a year. Yeah, so I mean, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of this year, and with all this crap going on, Boyer might find himself out of a ride, and Larson might find himself in a ride.
But even then, I still think Larson's not going to get scooped up immediately. Remember, Haas wanted Kurt Busch way before Kurt Busch was even released from Penske. But since Kurt Busch had all those issues,
Tony's been talking about this for a while. Like, trust me, Tony's been waiting for a long time.
They waited on Kurt Busch. So they might have to wait on Larson to see what happens with Larson.
Let me speak
Talk
of another
about
thing
free
that
agency.
could also be happening here. It is that the 48 is going to be wide open in 2021.
Yeah, but Hendrick's just like Chip Ganassi. He doesn't want to deal with that.
No. Chevrolet terminated their contract with Larson. And
I'll say Larson will let that either go to Ford or Toyota.
Chevrolet.
Yeah.
He'll have to go to
And
Toyota.
I don't see him going to Toyota. So there's no good Toyota teams besides Joe Gibbs Racing, and they've got their bet. They've set their bed for the next few years.
If Rowe is still around, then he'd probably go to them.
They're suffering. David Reagan came back, yes, but
I read a tweet from Chip Ganassi Race. It says that there's no rush to fill the 42. I kind of think otherwise, because if this coronavirus thing is flying over, I think we got to get a driver in a suit, get some pictures and all this shit.
With all the bullshit that Ganassi's put people through, I honestly think he owes it to Ross Chastain to give him the ride. After all the shit he put Chastain through, he gave him a ride, then he lost it because of a bunch of bullshit with DC Solar. I mean, I think he owes him this, and this is something that he needs to step up and give him. Be like, look, this is something that you didn't get to do before. I'm giving you the ride. Now go show me what you can do.
Yeah,
he did it. He was willing to do it before, and he didn't, and he wasn't able to fulfill that dream. Now he's going to fulfill it, and it's at the top series. Who cares if he's running for a championship in Xfinity? Let him run part-time in Cup Series for 1 year. Let him see what he can do in Xfinity, because he was doing good with the rides he could get. Unfortunately, with the points and stuff, it kind of cost him a Daytona ride, and it cost him a couple races. But we know Ross Chastain can drive. He did it in the Truck Series. He's shown it in the Xfinity Series, and I guarantee you he'll show it in Cup. He's shown it in Cup already with Roush Fenway Racing. Sure, he hasn't had the best finishes, but he shows that he can do it. Take a team, and perform well.
Yeah.
Most spun out.
I don't give many drivers the iAnthuny stamp of approval, but I'll give him the
Chastain deserves it. He's worked for it.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it.
He busted his ass for it.
I didn't believe the hype at first, but I seen it.
I didn't either, to be honest with you. I kind of figured it was just going to be, because, we saw how he was in the 4, and, it was kind of okay, but it wasn't anything impressive. And then I had doubt when he went to the Truck Series. I'm like, oh, he's just kind of going to bog off again. Because he had a low team, he had no sponsors, really anything. I was like, he's not going to do anything. And then he went out and won races. That's what made me a fan of him, because he knows how to win in teams that don't have shit.
I like how we're speaking about JD Motorsports and they just signed Mike Wallace to drive a race.
The fucking Wallace family.
So is this the end of iRacing events where drivers are just showing up for fun, or are they going to watch their tongue a little bit more?
Yeah, they got to watch their tongue, probably. Gotta watch how they say.
No.
No, because you can't hear what the drivers say on TV.
Well, yeah, true. Unless they're getting interviewed. But otherwise.
Hold on.
Carl Rivers bump and run on Kyle Busch. I like to see this one.
So, actually, let me show you something. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but during the Bristol race, Dale Jr. told Garrett Smithley to eat shit, so not sure.
Yeah, I was watching Garrett's stream during that race.
By the way, if you want to watch a race right now, the 2016 Richmond Spring Race is on.
Sweet.
On YouTube. Johnson's leading right now. Harvick, Carl Edwards, the top 3.
That was a day race, correct?
That was a beautiful race, and yes, it was. That was a beautiful end to that race. Thank you, Edwards, by the way.
Yeah, remember that. Never forget it.
Edwards is a true badass. Hey, it's Austin Dillon. Who's he gonna bitch at this time? He always does. Bitched at his teammates. Bitched at his grandfather.
Yeah, who else? Okay, this is gonna be. I'm gonna be dumbass here. I'm gonna be shit for saying this, but I think. But maybe Jamie McMurray could come back. I hope. I wish.
No, Jamie McMurray's retired. He's done.
Yeah,
he's already said he won't come back. He doesn't want to race anymore. Right. He likes his job.
He's been kidnapped. He's been kidnapped to the
Fox.
FS1 racing. He's been kidnapped. He's been handcuffed to the table. He can't go anywhere.
Who else could put in a car?
I mean, Junior could do a few races, but he's not gonna do it because he's
no.
Fuck no. Hey,
technically, he signed with Hendrick.
So Ryan Newman's gonna be. So
technically, he works with Hendrick, not Ganassi.
This move had to feel like a knife through Chip Ganassi's chances of winning, because Kyle Larson is, I'd say, one of the top 10 drivers.
Well, hold on.
Out there.
Still got Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch wins like once a year.
Yeah, but that once a year's kept him in the contention.
Yeah.
Don't matter how many times you win, as long as you're winning. That's what they want to see. They want to see you winning. And if you can win, Monster Energy stayed with them because of that.
Yeah. I mean, Kurt always finishes like in the top 10, so that.
Well, God, yeah, Kurt's consistent. He always has been. Even after he lost his. I mean, the only time he wasn't consistent was when that one, not even full year, with Phoenix Racing.
Yeah. He went to
And that was just because they were a shitty ass team. I'm sorry, but I feel bad for Regan Smith having to get put in that car.
I know this is off topic, but who's better than the Labonte brothers or the Bush brothers?
Labonte.
Bush brothers.
Really.
Kyle Busch has 2 championships, and he's won over 200 races in all 3 series. He's getting up there in Cup wins, and Kurt Busch has got a championship.
Has 10 years left in him.
Exactly, like Kyle Busch has already succeeded. The only thing left on his list is the Daytona 500.
And 100 wins, he said. He's going for 100.
Yeah, he won't get that.
Honestly, I don't want to see him break Jeff Gordon's record, but at least I know that he's worked for it.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the fact of anybody beating Jeff Gordon's record, but I know it's going to happen.
He's got Hall of Fame written all over him.
Oh, God, yeah. And he's going to win another
today and still get in.
If one more championship ties him with Jeff Gordon, 2, and, well, let's face it, 5 more championships ties him with Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt, and Richard Petty.
And still get in.
Yeah. YouTube chat saying the Bush brothers. That could just be because we're not product of the Labonte era, though. Maybe.
No, that's true.
No, because Kyle Busch has all those dang wins. Like Bobby Labonte, I don't think was ever that good. Well, he won the championship in 2000, I think.
2000 champ Bobby Labonte, a couple of good Daytona 500 finishes. He had a good amount of wins. But Joe Gibbs, that was back when Joe Gibbs was kind of starting, and it wasn't nearly as successful as he was now. And obviously Terry Labonte ran for multiple teams, including Hendrick Motorsports, which again was kind of just starting, but he definitely helped them get off the ground.
Terry Labonte also had a long slump.
Yeah.
Remember, he won. His last win was like Bristol of '95, and then his last win was Southern 500 in 2003. That's a long ass dry spell.
Yeah. Now, you gotta also remember he was also injured at Bristol in someone give me a year because I don't remember what year it was, but I remember seeing the video. He did not pull down the window net because when he hit that wall, he hit a ton. So, yeah.
I was wondering what the hell I was hearing. I forgot I had that race on.
So real quickly, my thoughts on him. Kyle Larson, one of the better drivers out there right now, being fired is, yes, this was taken way out of
proportion.
With this pandemic going on, there's nothing to do for a lot of
Casey in the wall.
Yeah.
It was just all these different aspects came into play, and it was the perfect storm. And here,
it seemed like it fueled itself with the people that were looking for drama and the situation of wanting it, and Kyle Larson kind of fueled the fire with saying it. But
but right now we got like one of the best free agents you could probably pick up. Kyle Larson, although he's gonna have some baggage. People might be calling him a racist for years to come.
No different than Tony Stewart being called a murderer. And yet he still does what he wants. He still does everything he loves.
That is
and
true.
He still
he killed,
Kevin Ward.
Yep, that's his name. Yeah.
Even though it's Kevin Ward's fault, but we need to move on.
What was Kevin Ward doing out there on that track though, like that?
He was in a black
I don't even know.
suit.
Ran into Tony. He was running towards Tony's car.
Tony slid up and sent him into the wall. Kevin could not continue. Kevin got out. He was frustrated. Not to mention the fact he was high. So he decided he's going to do what every driver does: go down and do the little taunting, try to confront Tony, taunt him, and everything. And unfortunately. Oh, speaking of Tony, hey, Stewart. Friggin' he was wearing a black fire suit. Couldn't see him. It was dark out. And Tony saw him at the last second. And unfortunately, not much he could do at that point. You can't just turn dead left with these cars. You have to, there's a whole procedure to it. So, I'll say Baker knows better than anybody.
Move.
Oh, thank you.
Sprint cars don't turn very well when you're going slow.
No, they don't turn good at all sometimes. Fast, slow.
You can't even turn them right.
Random Epic says, plus the guy was on drugs, running across the track.
Yeah, I think he was baked, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. They found marijuana in his system.
Wait.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I mean,
in the
I do feel bad
autopsy.
for his parents, but his parents
No,
Very.
I don't feel bad for his parents.
They're,
His parents
they're close
tried.
minded.
See, Spencer
No,
Gallagher,
his
that's why
parents
you
are
don't party
sick.
like it's
Are you
1999.
talking about Kevin Ward or something?
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah,
Ward's
we are.
parents are sick,
Okay,
twisted
okay.
fucks. They were trying to. They were
Dude,
going out of their way to make Tony suffer.
Yeah.
I was watching
Hey,
this.
Tony Stewart.
Oh,
did
they get
sit in
money.
Races. I'll give him that. I'll give Tony Stewart the
I
credit
won my
for
first
sitting up those
iRacing
races.
race
I
last
said
night.
Tony sat out because he felt horrible. I can't imagine what he was going through, and I hope to God I never have to feel what he goes through.
It's
But
kind of weird though if you think about it. Tony Stewart didn't get, Kyle Larson gets fired for saying the N-word, but Tony Stewart didn't get kicked out of NASCAR for killing a dude.
Or did any
or
of Tony
accidentally
Stewart's
hitting
sponsors
somebody.
leave him when that
No.
happened?
No, he stayed out a few races, and that was it. You know, he came back mid-chase, I think.
Under his own will.
Oh, no, he came back right before the chase. Yeah, because he came back in Atlanta, I think.
So that's kind of weird if you think about it. So why did Kyle Larson lose?
He almost won the race.
At Richmond.
Yeah.
I do feel bad.
He was feeling good. He was running great that race. I remember that because until he hit the wall, but
Yeah.
he felt good. He made a 3-wide pass. He was making moves. He looked just like his normal self. And then I think once he got knocked out of the race, I think it kind of hit him that he's not quite the same. So it sucks that Tony's career ended like it did. He was such a talented racer, and just to go out barely even clinging to life.
Hey, who's gonna go after Kyle Larson?
So he got to race in the chase, man.
I know, but still, he didn't even make it past the first round.
Who do you think's gonna go after Kyle Larson?
Yeah, that's true.
Stuart Haas, I think.
Stuart Haas. The Legendary just has been saying that for a lot.
I think Stuart Haas should start a 15. They'll be the next
people
Gibbs.
thought he was gonna go after Jimmy
Yeah, if they
Scott,
were allowed
which I
to
could have
start
saw.
15 because the charter system.
Oh, you're
Like I
right.
said,
Well, then who goes?
He's
Well,
been
isn't the
from
Haas
Which I
Chevrolet.
think is
He
bullshit.
can't go to Hendrick.
Stewart only has 3 teams.
Because the 14 is going to be free, but I bet you.
No,
Chase
Stewart Haas
Briscoe
is the
gonna
4.
get
If Boyer doesn't get
the
resigned.
41 and the 10. So who would
The
leave?
41 will stay with Cole Custer, I think. I don't think
the
they'll.
14
yeah,
might go to Chase Briscoe.
No, Briscoe's not ready to move up. I don't think
They would
I don't
have to
think he
start a
wants to.
satellite team, is what they would have
Chase
to do.
Briscoe's going to be that guy who's going to win on the road courses, that's for sure.
I mean,
Oh,
look,
God,
we'll
yeah.
have good
Stewart-
sponsors.
Next
Stewart
AJ
Haas is
Allmendinger.
Stewart
Didn't
Haas
Briscoe
is
win
not
this
getting
one?
rid of any of their 4 drivers.
Yeah, he won one.
He won Atlanta.
Yeah, because
Or
Briscoe's a
Las
good
Vegas
racer,
one.
He won
but
Vegas.
he still needs
Yeah,
time
wasn't Vegas?
to develop. You know.
That is true. I'll give you that.
He also won Vegas.
Cindric,
Yeah,
I bet, will go
exactly.
to
See,
Keselowski doesn't return to the 2.
Briscoe. I think this is Briscoe's year to go after that championship.
Keselowski to the 48. What do you guys think?
Nope. He's
That
already,
would be
It's gonna
really
happen.
fucking trash.
I don't
bet
see
you
it.
he'll
gonna
go to
happen.
the 42.
I don't see it.
Keselowski hates Penn. Does not like what's going on in that Penske organization.
Kyle
That's
Larson to the
basically the only
48.
ride
That'd
open,
be so-
unless he goes to Haas.
That'd be such a disgrace to put Kyle Larson in the 48. I'm not gonna lie.
Keselowski
Yeah.
will not go to Haas.
I remember seeing Johnson might think about
Hey,
coming
Yeah.
back because of all
what
what's
up,
happening.
Mattiello in chat? How you doing, man?
What?
Wait, are you streaming?
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
we're
am
he's
streaming.
super
Hey, I'm glad
annoyed
you're
and
staying
pissed
safe
off at
out
this
there.
Oh, by the way,
today.
we've all been ranting about this, and we're actually live.
Yeah.
Someone just said the N word on here.
Oh, good
You'll
point.
get fired.
We put together a 35-minute show so far, but
Hey,
We've been doing a great
NASCAR
job.
Who's
race,
streaming
we'll do it
anyway, huh,
tonight.
Anthony?
Go to, go to Twitch.
Oh, thanks for bringing me into the chat, by the way.
no problem. Linda says, "Rest in peace, Kyle Larson."
He's not gonna lose
No,
everything.
he's
He'll
not
be
dead.
fine.
That's ridiculous.
Kyle Larson was
He's
crying.
not
be back.
dead.
He'll be
It's
back
just
and
that he's
stronger.
gonna have to take the Kurt Busch route for
I was
about
saying,
a
this
year or
is
two.
exactly the same crap that happened with. I mean, it's not the same exactly.
I
Like
feel like Kyle
identical,
Busch would say
but
it.
Kurt
Wait,
Busch
was it
was
Kurt
put in
that
a
said it
very
or Kyle
similar
did?
situation, and with Roush Fenway when he was handed a falsely accused ticket that wasn't even true by a police officer.
But there's a
He
lot of
lost his
differences.
ride with
It's
Roush
gonna make.
Fenway.
Yeah,
No,
this
it's gonna
this
make-
will be forgotten in a few months.
Oh God, yeah.
I
Especially
don't
with
think
the
it
fact
will
that-
be. I don't know.
Yeah,
And by
Well,
July
but-
or August,
Race is a big
Always in
topic
person, though.
nowadays.
I almost
by July
forgot
or
that
August,
Tony
no
Stewart
one will
killed
care
Kevin Moore.
anymore.
A lot of people did. Except for the people that don't want to let it go because they know they had need that drama in their life.
I mean,
to
we
feel
only
themselves.
remember it because
But
we
it's
brought it up.
NASCAR.
I mean, if
It's
you're suing a
conservative.
NASCAR driver who makes millions, that's why you're going to sue him, is just so that you can make millions off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Talented race car driver.
True.
Right? Michael
What
Vick
Kevin
got a
Moore's
second
parents
chance.
wanted
Give
to
me a
do.
break. He said a word.
Kevin Ward's parents are fucked.
Yeah, they wanted to
His
make. They were trying to
sponsor
make all the
wasn't
money off of
McDonald's,
Tony.
You wouldn't even hear about it.
At first,
Pretty
I felt
sad when
bad
you use
for
your
him,
kid's
and then
death
like,
to
kind of
freaking
sunk
make
in there
money.
just trying to get money.
If his sponsor was like IK9, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Someone on iRacing's named Kevin Ward 9.
Here are a couple of recent tweets. One person said, "Sorry, you're only sorry that you got caught." Funny how you take. Let me see some of these. I don't know. A lot
Only
of people.
sorry you got.
Wait, what are you
caught?
live on, Anthony?
YouTube.
Oh, let me pull that up. I'm on iRacing right now.
In my book,
I am too.
makes a mistake. There is no good mistakes, but everyone deserves a second chance.
2 of his smaller sponsors are sticking by him.
You know what? If he said the N-word...
CGR, I'm sure Tony Stewart won't have any issues finding you a sponsor and bringing you on board.
Like I said,
automation will take care of it.
And who knows, maybe Mobile One. Or Toko, too. Remember Toko? I don't know.
Bro, Pocono is... I mean, Phoenix is so hard for iRacing. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
what, the 08 Phoenix or the new Phoenix?
Yeah, the 08 Phoenix is bumpy and slick.
It's very slick, and especially in the pickup
Phoenix
cup.
is terrible.
You're running the pickup cup series, aren't you?
Yeah, it's so loose.
I can
just
tell
like
you right
turn
now,
to a
good
turn.
luck with that. It's ridiculous.
The last comment I want to read. This lady wrote, "He said the N-word like he's a strong slave master."
Whoa! Oh my god! People
Sounds
just want to
salty.
get mad about this. Like, shut up, lady.
Look at what Strowman said. Look in Discord.
Her avatar, she does look African, so maybe she's got a little bit of anger to it.
Yeah, those are the people
that
that
is a serious
perpetuate
serious
racism.
word there.
They love racism. It's drama. They love drama in their life, so they perpetuate this kind of crap.
You see what X-Men just posted? In the general?
No, but that was a good one.
No, this one.
He said a derogatory word. Tony Stewart killed someone.
Oh, that one.
Marcus Stroman, I'm assuming that's from Twitter. He should never be allowed to race again in NASCAR. Said that derogatory words so nonchalantly. Your apology doesn't matter. Post-career, I'll fight this man in a UFC event for charity. He needs his ass beat. Would love to hear him say that word in the octagon.
That sounds like a white person.
He is definitely salty.
He's a baseball player.
It's in the general.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to look at him.
What the fuck is Marcus Stroman?
He's a baseball player. He's a pitcher.
I don't fuck with baseball anymore.
Is Marcus
baseball
a
love
white dude?
This is the guy that said those comments about Kyle Larson right here.
And
to be honest, hey,
a lot of tough
I was
talk
in
from
the
behind the
stream.
keyboard.
I'm pretty sure he meant to talk to his spotter, and he ended up doing the driver chat.
He was talking to his buddy. He said he was talking with his buddy who he was trying to see if his mic was working, and it wasn't. And he said that, and it actually worked.
I heard it was. I heard it was
Lights
Bubba
work.
Wallace that was the spotter.
No,
Hey,
sorry, no,
everyone,
was it?
if you notice though, everyone in that,
No way.
everyone in the voice chat was trying to cover it up for him, but it didn't work out for him.
I would say like everybody. I remember when he said it. One guy reacted. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
They were trying to like help him
Connor
cover
Daly
it up.
was like, yikes.
Yeah, that was Garrett.
Joseph Newgarden looked like he was about to shit his diaper when he said it.
I don't know.
No,
who it
but
was.
like people
It was
are
that guy
trying
that
to
was
help him
lean.
out.
That guy that leans when he races, like he
Yeah,
was
it
like,
was Smithley.
his eyes opened up. He was like, "What?"
Who's the
Yeah,
dude
everybody knew
filming
what had
Larson
happened.
too? Like, who the hell is that guy?
Kyle
his
Larson's
problem?
gonna go down all the way to Legends.
Filming Kyle Larson. I'm pretty sure he just
He's going right down to D class.
But does anybody know who the person recording him was?
Everyone was recording.
Everyone.
Love on Twitter.
Yeah, so Garrett Smithley was live
Not to mention
streaming
he had
it.
a live stream
Connor
anyway,
Daly
so.
was live streaming it, and they picked it up.
Well,
Yeah, but the
Why
video
did
I
he
saw
sell
was the
it?
guy who was like in the room with
I
him.
mean, nobody reported.
Nobody
him.
was in the
He
room.
just
He has a
caught
camera set
everywhere.
up behind his wheel. What people do a lot of the time is they have a camera set up on the back of their chair so they just aim straight at them, or they'll have it from the computer, and that way.
Oh, I could have sworn it was like a cell phone, like somebody was holding their cell phone.
Maybe, I don't know. I know the camera I saw was definitely a camcorder that he was using just to record himself for
Let me
Twitch
ask
or
you guys
whatever.
a question: if Jimmy Johnson did this, would Rick Hendrick have fired him today?
Probably.
Yeah, I bet he
Yeah,
would.
yeah, because he's gonna retire after the year anyway.
Well, pretend
Nah,
that's not even
Hendrick.
part of the issue.
Rick Hendricks, like Chip Ganassi, he loves to avoid the drama.
Hey, I like
Rick
Ganassi,
Hendrick
and I
and
think
Richard Childress. I feel like Rick Hendrick and Richard Childress are kind of similar in some ways.
Well, except for Rick Hendrick doesn't hire his kids to drive his cars or his grandkids.
Ty Dillon is garbage, man. Ty Dillon never deserves a race.
Ty Dillon is a way better driver than us.
I mean,
Yeah, but
I met
Ricky
Ty
Hendrick
Dillon in
was
real life.
good,
I
and
actually
he
met
didn't
him
just
where
get
he was
fast
meeting
tracked.
Richard. I also met Richard Childress. Ed is
Like Ricky
I
would
met
have
him at
been decent.
RCR Motorsports. We were there
I mean, it's
visiting.
the same thing. How Dale
Holy
Sr. hired
shit!
Dale
People
Jr. to
can't
drive
drive in
Bud
this
8.
track, dude. Holy
And
shit!
Ricky
Kyle
would
Petty
have
was
ended
gonna
up
have
in the
Adam Petty
25
run.
car.
Will you like not push through?
Ricky Hendrick would have ended up in the
better than
25, and that is
unfortunately.
not the flagship
No.
team of
So
the
much
Hendrick
people thought they were
No,
stable.
it was pretty much as shitty as a 5 team was.
I think honestly, I don't know. It is how you talk every day. If he's hearing that, then he's gonna use that word. Like even when I swear, I always try to apologize. I don't know.
Yeah, like we all apologize for it. We don't mean it. He definitely didn't mean it.
So I don't think
Look,
Jimmy Johnson is that kind of guy that would have that in his vocabulary daily.
Hey, but that's irrelevant.
But a lot of people would hear that.
But I
bet
hear
you
if
wouldn't have
Jimmy
heard
were to
that.
say that, that's a tough question, man.
Wait, what?
I don't even know how he's in here. He's not even an admin or counsel.
Oh, dude, I had
Look,
an incident last night.
I don't condone the word. I yell at my kids if they've ever said it. I've actually yelled at my friends for using the word. Like, you know, it's rude, but I don't think any of them should have lost their careers or jobs or whatever.
Oh yeah. By the way, update on Advent Health. Advent Health is actually a Ganassi sponsorship. It's not a Larson sponsorship. It's
Which
a
one?
Ganassi.
Health.
Advent Health. It's a Ganassi sponsorship. It's not Kyle Larson's personal sponsor.
And that's one of the ones that stuck by him, right?
Yeah. So Advent Health is technically not even going to be sponsoring Larson if he goes to another ride.
Larson only has Plan B sales. That's it.
Yeah, Plan B sales. I heard.
Yeah.
Which is a nothing company. So.
I bet you Chick-fil-A sponsors
for
him
Rick
next
Ware
year.
Racing, right? Yeah.
Didn't Plan B sales a freaking pregnancy testing?
No, it's a diecast selling.
Plan B.
place.
Oh my god.
It sells diecast.
Sounds like it. There is something like that. That's
the high five method.
It'll be the number 40 Chick-fil-A car next year.
So will Kyle Larson, will his popularity grow or will it
Oh, it's gonna
right now it's dropping pretty fast.
Big time.
It'll drop and come right back because it's NASCAR and NASCAR fans are their own community. You know what I mean? They're just not the same as NFL or MLB or NHL. NASCAR is NASCAR, and it's even though it's huge, it's its own community. And Kyle Larson has support from other drivers and other team members, but they're not going to come out right now. It's too fresh. Give this a couple of months, and I guarantee you, 100%, it's forgotten.
Yeah. Oh yeah, until somebody brings it up again.
Yeah, but then that guy's just being a jerk.
Yeah, just like they have been with Tony, just like they've been with everybody.
And Tony bounced back. I know he didn't perform entirely well, but he was later on in his career anyway.
Didn't Crafton say faggot last year or something?
Yeah, I remember.
There's
that.
only one guy
Nobody
who's
did anything
never
for
bounced
that?
back from a situation like this, and that's Jeremy Mayfield.
Oh yeah, but he got shit on so hard for that.
He got fucked.
Yeah,
over.
but the guy kept doing drugs and kept denying it and kept testing positive. Like that guy was a complete fuckhead. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Somehow you know this is serious when ESPN is doing a debate topic on it.
Yeah,
and
which
ESPN
never
gives
talks
no
about
shits
NASCAR.
about NASCAR now.
They only talk about NASCAR when it's something negative.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're
like
they're
the
still
Kurt Busch
thinking about losing the
2015 incident.
contract to NBC.
Yeah. Everything good?
Again.
Carsey Matt says Natalie Decker in the number 42.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Natalie Decker just needs to go back to the
does
kitchen.
Chip Ganassi want to be out of finances by the end of the
Natalie
year?
Decker deserves to go back to the Arca Menard series.
Natalie Decker. I said.
I
Natalie
think
Decker
for the
deserves
rest
to
of
be,
this year, Ross Chastain will end up in the 42, but that's just a theory of mine.
Game theory.
I hear he deserves it, sure, but I think somebody that's going to have to pay for it, like John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, but nobody wants him. McDonald's doesn't want him.
But he's got his sponsor, his family's company.
But McDonald's didn't stop sponsoring Chip Ganassi, right? Just Larson.
Right.
No, they only stopped sponsoring Kyle Larson.
And they still,
Yeah.
and McDonald's
So if
still
the
have,
42 car still exists with a new driver, McDonald's will still be on it.
Jeez, get that Kurt Busch McDonald's paint scheme ready.
and McDonald's has.
Oh hell yeah! I would actually
The
like to see
one-
Kurt Busch with
The
McDonald's.
one is back
game.
with McDonald's.
Hey, just cause. Just cause.
Yeah.
Want to do another one of them NASCAR Thunder simulations of the season?
It's fun.
Later. I'll
Yeah,
do
let's
that
see.
later.
All right, I'll join in. But yeah, seriously, this is all like a bunch of bullshit because there's road jumping on one guy who just said one thing, and apparently all in and
Now all of a sudden the whole world's falling apart because of it. Like,
He's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
No,
adds
it's
to
a
the
one
whole
word,
virus, man. We'll never forget 2020.
no, so
Is
2020
Ryan
has been a
Newman
shit show.
Do you think Ryan Newman continues next year?
Oh yeah.
Newman almost died. Brady left New England, and Kyle Larson was fired.
Get over that.
Oh no, I just wanted. It's one of the biggest highlights in the NFL right now. Like,
Like, do we think Ryan Newman? Do we think
Oh, yeah,
Ryan
I'm
Newman is
fine
still
with it.
driving the 6 car next year?
Aaron Rodgers retires.
Yeah, I think he.
I said Aaron Rodgers retires and Ben
He has-
Roethlisberger retires. Holy shit!
He has Oscar Mayer. He has
And Drew Brees as well. Can't
Ben
Drew Brees.
Roethlisberger better retire.
Drew Brees retires. That's gonna be.
Yeah, he has a bunch of them. And
Russell Wilson retires.
Lamar
Like,
Jackson
holy
better
hell!
get injured this season.
Russell Wilson.
I think
Was it
Ryan
Eli
Newman-
Manning retiring?
Ryan Newman is like the next Ken Schrader, man. He'll stay in the car as long as he can.
That's very
Yeah, but do you
true,
think he's in the 6 car? Do you think Roush keeps him in the 6 car?
No.
I could see
Because
it.
there's a spot for Larson next year. I mean, their sponsors aren't like Acorn, Oscar Mayer. What do they care?
I hope a driver
They care.
like Noah Gragson goes.
Oscar Mayer's the one that would care the most.
Probably, but Acorn's the one that's making a ton of money just throwing their
Man,
name
our
on
wiener,
the
know what
our
Acorn
wiener
is,
company's
to be
gonna
honest.
suffer because of this guy.
You guys
Yeah.
use Acorn? I was thinking about using it, but whatever.
What
I
is
don't
it?
use Acorn.
I don't even know what it is.
No, I use nothing.
Isn't it like a virus, a VPN or something?
No.
Acorn is a stock trading thing. If you spend $20.99 on your credit card, it'll take that extra penny and invest it for you.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice. I'd do it.
Yeah,
See-
I used to use it. I don't anymore.
Sounds like your
Although it's
401k.
Although
Yeah,
it's
That money
basically.
put it
It's a
into
neat,
Dover Motorsports because they're in the stock market.
product, it's not one of them sponsors people are gonna really find relatable.
Mattiello, do you really have a portfolio?
Oh yeah, I made $250 on Tesla this morning.
Dude, badass.
Nice.
I bought it at 9:35 in the morning, and I sold it at 10, and I made
boy.
$250.
Making bucks. You
Big
should have
money,
an
big
you should
money.
easily have a great freaking.
You out
nice
here
big
making
setup.
bank.
You need to have a
Well-
YouTube
Make money
channel
off of
with
Dover
your
Motorsports.
tips, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody to listen to me. My shit's
His
half
tips
level.
and his
Oh, look
fantasy
at that!
football
He has
review.
gladly decided to
You-
tip
You know
$250
what? If you
to
guys
me.
play fantasy sports of any kind, you can play the stock market because it's just as much research.
You just got to know what you're doing. That's the big thing.
Right, you
I
just
want
gotta
to be
pick up
on the
little bits of
Cleveland
info.
stock market team. We're going to be drafting giant mans at
Look
lunch.
like American Dad.
What do we want with Kevin Love, man?
You guys can call me Danny Day Trader.
Oh, you don't want Freddie
First
Kitchens?
off, I would like the Cavs to trade Kevin Love as soon as possible.
I think we should get rid of Baker
We
Mayfield.
need to get his old ass.
Oh,
We need to get his old ass off the team.
You could have traded Baker Mayfield to Tampa Bay before a few weeks
Hell
ago.
no. Hell no. We're keeping him.
Yeah, you should take Tom
all right,
Brady.
Baker is a weird ass first name.
He had a sophomore slump. Okay.
No,
All
you
right,
could have, James
here's your
Winston.
problem with Cleveland. Here's your problem with Cleveland. Your general manager, who built Kansas City before he left, had a bit of hubris and thought he could do the same exact thing in Cleveland and traded all of his support players, i.e. his offensive line, for other players like Odell Beckham Jr., who on the surface sounds like a good idea, but when you can't protect your quarterback, you can't throw it deep to one of the best receivers in the league.
That's why we got
Yeah.
Jack Conklin this year. We just signed Jack Conklin.
Did you guys
What a
keep
name.
Hunt?
that's a weird name.
What a name.
So all we need is a guard. We just need one guard and
Dick
offensive
Trickle.
line set. Our main problem was the right side of the line where Chris Hubbard and Eric Kush was lined up last year. We got Jack Conklin
Damn,
to
imagine having a last
replace
name Kush.
Greg Robinson.
Oh, that would be
So
awesome.
all we need is somebody to replace Eric Kush, and the offensive line would be better.
The other problem you have is Baker Mayfield does not handle adversity well.
No.
That
This
is
the
true.
first time he had a
Who
crap
does, though?
season was last year, because he had expectations. His rookie season, it's fine. You can go 4-12 because there's no expectations. You're supposed to be bad. You're a rookie. But by his sophomore year, when you have flashes like he did.
Everybody's looking at you to be performer.
Right, exactly.
He expects you to
And then when you're not
when you don't
performing,
do
everyone's
it.
go, well, why aren't you performing? And you act like a petulant child. You're just making it worse.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hope this year was a sophomore slump and the third year would be better. He had no offensive line last season. So let's see what he can do under offensive line.
By your third full season in the NFL, you should ask Eli Manning.
Yeah. And Eli Manning was not good.
What class was that where Philip Rivers, Tom Brady, Eli Manning? Was that 2003 or 2005?
Twice.
Yeah, but we beat him.
Those 2 Super Bowl rings are freaking beautiful for them.
He beat the Patriots when they went 16-0.
Yeah, I know. I'm so bummed about that season, man. Like, I know that's an old season, but Jesus, that was good. That was a great season. Wasn't that 08 or something like that?
It was 08.
I remember that shit. Legendary.
Oh, man, I was so bummed about that season. Oh, well. We still got 6 Super Bowl rings. That's all that matters.
That is true. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Along with the, Cowboys and the
Steelers.
Friggin' Steelers.
Steelers.
Or no, Niners have 5.
Niners have 5, don't they?
Packers.
They have 5.
How many rings do the Packers have?
I think like 3.
3, 4.
3, 4. Yeah, I know the Packers beat the Patriots in '97. I think it was.
Oh, they got one. They won the first ever Super Bowl. Yeah, they won the first ever Super Bowl. They won one with Favre, and they won one with Rodgers. That's 3.
Yeah.
That boy from Kill, Mississippi.
What about that boy named
You can thank the Falcons for Brett Favre.
Right. I think Random brought that up the other day.
Where's Random? You're gonna need to personally thank Random for Brett Favre.
You know what we need? We need to realize that I believe Brett Favre actually drafted to the or was it Brett Favre? Who was the quarterback that was actually drafted to the Vikings now? Who I think who plays for the.
So Anthony, I got my first win last night.
Nice, congratulations.
Hey guys.
What up, Sean? Hey, we made a straw poll and it said, "Did Kyle Larson deserve to be fired?"
I voted no.
15
I voted
people
no.
said no.
I voted
9
no.
people said yes.
Where's the straw poll? Let me go vote on that.
Yeah, let me.
I'm gonna vote.
Okay, like I said earlier, I support Larson. So,
like I said, do I agree with the firing? No. Do I understand the firing? Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that sentiment right there. Where'd you put the straw poll in general?
Both. Yeah, Discord and YouTube.
I put no because I don't think he should have gotten fired.
Confirmation says Jeff Bodine to the 42.
Yeah, right.
Jeffrey Bodine.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have another nasty record.
Lake Speed. No, Lake Speed comes back.
Brett Bodine.
Lake Speed comes back.
Did you know that both Bodine brothers drove for Junior Johnson? And they were 2 of his worst drivers ever.
Matt Yellow, I'm sorry for interrupting, but who's
What's up?
better, the Bush brothers or Labonte brothers?
Bush brothers.
I'm gonna have to say Bush, but it's a close one because Terry had a really awesome career, 2 championships, got that championship. But I mean, but Kyle and Kurt each have a championship, and
3
Kyle
together.
obviously won a hell of a lot more races than both Labontes put together.
Yeah, but you also got to look at the competition level, and I mean, I do agree Bush brothers, but like,
also,
I will say this about competition
Terry
level.
Labonte
From
had
1984,
before he won the Southern 500 in 2003.
What if we put?
He had that long dry spell.
From 1984 until 2002, the Labonte brothers won 3 championships, and they had to compete again. The end of Richard Petty's career, the beginning of Jeff Gordon's career,
and
the heart of Dale Earnhardt's career, Davey Allison, Alan Kawicki, Bill Elliott,
Jeff Gordon,
Rusty Wallace,
That's why I said
Tony Stewart's beginning of his career.
Yeah, I'd say Rusty Wallace.
That's crazy.
So the level of competition for those 2 drivers was hella good.
Martin.
Ricky Rudd, Jeremy Mayfield. I mean,
I think it's easier for Kyle, actually. I think competition today is watered down and stagnant. You have a bunch of the same guys and very little above echelon.
I just want to say a bunch of rich
veterans
families.
Kyle considers himself
right, because not for nothing, with a little bit more money, I'd be Alex Bowman or William Byron or
who was it? Who
anybody could beat William Byron.
Yeah, right.
Hey, can somebody help me here with something? Who was that in the ARCA series was getting his career fueled by his dad, who's actually stealing money from investors? Can someone help me with
whoever owns Zippo, that Zippo, the Zippo garbage company.
Yeah.
That was funding that guy. Oh.
Zip.
He got 10 years in prison for that just because he wanted to fund his son's NASCAR career.
Yeah, what's his name?
Well, that's how Gordon got started
dad
too.
of the year.
Yeah, Dad of the Year award.
Congratulations, you're dead.
All these girl race car drivers support a female race car driver, but don't tell me Decker and whoever these girls are not doing it because they just have the connections in the family and whatnot. I mean, let's be honest. To make a really good race car driver, you need to have two things: determination and know how to shift manual transmissions.
Really?
Pretty much.
Which
is the determination. I mean, you're driving a car, you're going to figure it out.
I'll be honest with you, the manual shifting is even watered down. Have you ever noticed when NASCAR drivers run like the Glen and stuff, they don't use the clutch.
Yeah, they're using a
They just shift. They just move back and forth. You know, they don't even really have to hit the clutch.
They don't give a shit. It's one race.
All they have to do is let off the gas. That's all they have to do.
Yeah, and it just immediately goes down.
Stock? What happened to stock in these cars? There ain't no
You know
stock.
what's really telling? Did you guys hear Clinton Boyer after the second race of the iRacing stuff they're doing?
Yeah, he said these cars.
He said that it's harder to drive the iRacing than it is the real cars.
Yeah, because the tracks are a little bit slicker in iRacing. Like honestly,
I mean that just goes to tell you how easy it is to drive a stock car these days.
Yeah, but you also gotta remember that they don't have the most updated. Yeah, well, you gotta remember they don't have the most updated packages in iRacing that they do in Cup. Like
that's not
updated
exactly the point, though.
No, but it definitely makes a difference. I mean,
yeah, it does make a difference.
Aerodynamics and horsepower and all that stuff.
I think he's just saying that because he's an iRacing boss, though, man.
No, whatever.
Some
it's a fair point, but
every race is
some people aren't good at video games. It's just not in their DNA.
No, I know. And Boyer's definitely one of those guys that never was a video gamer.
No idea what he's doing.
I have a feeling if you give him a new phone, he'd be like, "What is that?"
He's still using a Motorola Razr.
I guarantee
you take Clint Boyer using the 3 screens.
No, he's using one screen, I think, and he's using
so
the basic
you gave him.
system.
I think if you gave him the full rig and gave him a better feel.
Oh God, yeah.
And you know what? Did you guys watch the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Indy racing video the other day?
Yeah, I did.
No, I didn't.
I really liked how he had a spotter and the crew chief kind of helping him out. I think a lot of these NASCAR guys should do that on these races.
That's what they've been doing. I think Blaney and Elliott.
The funny thing was he finished third.
Some of them have done it, but like Blaney had Chase Elliott for that race. There's nobody else now.
I think they honestly just need to bring their spotters in that work the real job and just have them sit there on another monitor and be like, okay.
I think that's really great that you can do that. In fact, I would love to be somebody else's crew
God,
chief since I can't drive.
I've done it.
I gotta do work here, so I'm gonna get off.
iAnthuny, you need a crew chief for your races?
Yeah, really.
Hey, a lot of people
I'll hire you.
are starting to do iRacing. I don't know if just cause or Sean.
I'll give you $2.50 an hour and all the Mr. Pibb you can drink.
How much money do you think it is to start when you don't own a computer like
money
that?
to do iRacing.
Man,
I'll say I
don't have a wheel.
Race on a Windows 7 PC, so it isn't that demanding.
I don't have a wheel. That's the only
have you
thing I'm
not
missing.
seen Timmy Hill's setup?
Oh God,
By the time of Jeff,
An
basic
Xbox controller, but
That's
I
all
do
you
have an
need.
Xbox controller. It just,
dude, you guys,
you
could see.
I
Here,
just
I'll send
need
you a
the
picture of my
money to-
setup. Oh shit, I don't have my phone.
I
Never
would
mind.
have to have the money to subscribe to that.
But yeah, no, okay, so here's my setup. It's one of those white fold-out tables, you know, the ones that have the fold-out legs and everything.
Oh
with
yeah.
the wheel clamp to it, the shifter to the right, and then a 3-screen monitor, which I only use the middle one because these monitors aren't the same size and it fucks with me sometimes. A $700 computer, about $300 in monitors, which overkill, but fuck it. Basic chair. I mean, I've really got it as basic as it comes, and it works great. I run up close to 80 frames per second, and it never caused problems.
Yeah, mine runs 84 frames.
That's about what you'll get out of your computer. It's actually better than it should be, because usually that computer with that processor shouldn't be running that good, but then again, the graphics card probably makes up for it.
So, let me ask any of you guys who are at least iRacing pros, like have done it for a while, what do you think your initial investment is when you have to still buy the computer?
$500 to $700.
Really? For the computer?
Yeah, at the low end, probably 500.
Yeah,
That's
the one
if you
I
want
have.
a basic one.
And then you got to get the
Like, just
iRacing subscription. If you
right,
want
so you
$13.
got to pay for the subscription. You got to get a wheel and pedals. You got to get the computer with a decent monitor. I'm not talking about 3 monitors, just one.
You don't really need
buy
a
the good
decent
one
monitor.
that works for Xbox One and PC.
Tell you what,
As
my
the
monitor,
PS4 guy, or
my
5.
I have a
original monitor
PS4
was
guy,
a
actually.
little was a regular Acer monitor, and it was $150.
They do make the
No
wheels
lie.
for PS4 and PC.
And you could use your.
And
But you can't do
if you
iRacing on PS4.
I wish.
No.
But the
That's
problem
not
is all the wheels are designed to different, like either Xbox and PC or PlayStation and PC. There's no just PC monitor or wheel. I mean, wow.
Hey, you messing up on your words a bit, huh?
I am, but I'm also flabbergasted over this whole crap
If
show.
you go at it though, probably $1,000, man. If you need a
I'd say about
that
$1,000.
sounds more like what I was thinking.
subscription.
I might.
How much?
Altogether.
What's the
hook up my
subscription? How's the
computer
subscription
to my
work?
flat
So the
screen.
first
$13 a month.
$650 for the
$13 a month. That's all it is. But then you got to buy your cars and whatnot, right?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
They're only $11.50, which ain't bad.
$11 to $15 per car and track. It's
And then when you
it
start off, you
gets-
can't like go start racing like Cup or Xfinity. You got to
No.
like do. You
There
do some
actually
Trans Am
is
racing and
there is
whatnot.
older Xfinity
You
cars.
start as a rookie in all series. At that point, you're offered a variety of races between. You got Carburetor Cup. Okay, so you got series that don't count and then series that do count. Carburetor Cup, Delara Dash, and Pickup Cup series are all series that you can run for fun. They're not penalizing. They don't hurt your I rating, but they don't gain. So that's a good way to cut your teeth, kind of. You got
Yeah.
Dirt Street Stock series. That's the rookie dirt series and the dirt midgets. Well, not really midgets. They're more like legend cars, but that's their dirt series. You got Oval series, which is street stock and legend cars, basic legend cars.
What's the best series to start in?
Depends. What do you want to do?
Depends,
You
yeah.
want to be a
Well,
road
so you want to
racer?
race.
You
You
want to be an
end
oval
up racing
racer?
Xfinity and Cup cars. What do you
Then you
start?
Then you start in the iRacing Street Stock series.
With? Street
Rookies.
stocks. Okay.
That is a what are they
If you-
called? What
If you've seen that video I posted with Natalie Decker last night, she's racing in that series.
I'll say Legend Ford. There's also the Legend series, which are Ford 34 coupes.
Yeah,
those are
those are
just
fun.
little, tiny little cars, but they've got a lot of power behind them. That's a
Which
good
one of
way
you
to give
guys is the
yourself
next
some-
Denny Hamlin, where you get noticed on iRacing and end up driving for Earnhardt or Gibbs?
A couple of years.
Come on,
ago, I used to
iAnthuny.
get
Come on,
noticed
it's you.
there. yeah.
I ain't getting anything. I'm not.
People will be like, "Is that iAnthuny? No way."
Is that Anthony? No.
You should be driving for Ty Dillon, bro.
You be
Right.
driving for.
I think somebody said that before. But anyway,
my
with this
goodness.
poll, and then we're gonna wrap it up here, I guess. 21 people said no, Kyle Larson should not be fired, and 9 people said yes. So, total of 30 votes.
Those
There we
9
go.
people that say yes, what's wrong with you?
They just are butthurt over the fact that somebody has the balls to say a word that's not allowed.
It wasn't a mistake, man.
It was a mistake that should have never been blown out of proportion like it was. Plain
Right.
and simple.
That's been my whole
Final view.
Like if he were on TV, let's say he just won a race and then he said it like,
That would have been a different story because he was on live TV, but it wasn't.
Oh
So,
God, what if
he was on
did that?
Twitch.
Oh God.
Imagine
People are
Bubba
like, "Oh, what
Wallace
about
did
the
it.
kids?" It's like, well, why are you letting your kids watch these guys? Like, seriously.
Could you guys
Be better
imagine if
parents.
Bubba Wallace was the one?
Yeah, be better parents here on that.
is there gonna be beef between Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace now? Because
I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
No,
If
no,
there
there
is,
won't.
it'll be because of Bubba. It won't be because of Larson.
I feel like I think
I don't think
Bubba
Bubba's
and,
gonna do that though.
I think
No.
Bubba and Larson are cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
I
were
think
best
Bubba
friends.
was
I don't
Till
know
that
about
happened.
now.
mistake too, you know.
Oh, Bubba probably laughed about it, to be honest with you.
Probably did.
Bubba's like,
But you
God,
don't
I
know.
say that every day.
I mean, again, we're
Stupid
talking about it
crackers.
again, but I've heard plenty of people just like use it nonchalantly, and they're not assholes. They're not racist.
The final question I have, why is it okay for a black man to call us a cracker or a Yankee, but yet we're not allowed to call them a nigger?
Well, you'd have to do a bit of research.
Well,
and
yeah,
I'm just
I
letting you
know.
guys know I'm not being
path.
facetious, but if you look out the duration, like where the term came from, like cracker wasn't necessarily derogatory; it was just a nickname. But the other word became more of a derogatory word, even though its root of the word is just for a color. But it became different. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain, and it's hard for regular people who don't worry about this kind of thing to wrap their head around it. I think on both sides of the spectrum, you'll have white and ethnic people kind of blow it out of proportion. And I've always had the stance that if you react to it, you cause more negative than you do positive. So by firing Kyle Larson, you perpetuate the negative notion instead of coming out. And I'm not saying Chip should have done this. I'm saying he could have done this. But if Chip Ganassi came out and said, look, we love Kyle. He's a very good man. He is a very caring and loving man. He made a poor decision in a term that has a long history of negativity. But we don't feel that it is necessary to ruin a man's reputation over the use of one time of a word. And if they wanted to come out and do that and they still lost McDonald's sponsor, I get there's billions, millions of dollars at stake here. But somebody in the social construct is going to have to step up and defend the innocent while, like Kyle Larson and others from getting destroyed by this, because we are still America. It is still freedom of speech. And he wasn't yelling fire in a movie theater. It is not something that deserves the reaction it's getting today. Boom, mic drop.
The comments coming in on Twitter are unbelievable, man. Like, people are saying, I hear Burger King is hiring. Maybe you could be their delivery driver.
Oh. See, Popeyes would have been funnier.
Oh, geez, wow.
Or Chuck E. Cheese.
Buddy.
This guy says people are easily offended. LOL, get over it. It's just a word.
Hey, what about if he got hired by Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh my God.
Oh. But, I ain't even gonna say it.
I
was thinking Ross Chastain's sponsor. That I'll shut up.
Yeah, just so.
Watermelon. Man, watermelon is good. Not gonna lie.
Ross Chastain's watermelon farm is hiring.
And you know what's funny? The guy's half Asian.
Yeah, he was in the Drive for Diversity program.
But nobody brings that up except for fans.
There's so many. If you go look up at Kyle Larson Racing with the N at the end, wow, people are vicious right now. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. Thanks for to you guys for stopping by. Jordan, K. Baker, Legendary, Lipsy, Mattiello, Sean Ard, and X-Man. Thanks for your thoughts on this thing. You guys have anything?
Okay.
Anytime.
To say before we end this?
Woo, third place. Hell yeah. Good job.
I don't.
By the way, real quick question that probably deserves just a quick answer. If Kyle Larson's sponsor fires him and Kyle Larson's owner fires him, why does NASCAR come in and suspend him? He doesn't have a job right now.
He was suspended.
Well, there was suspension before anything.
I guess maybe I read it after
this morning.
He was suspended before anything.
He was suspended
really
yesterday and fired today.
Oh, I guess I didn't get the timeline on that then. So.
Yeah, no, he got suspended yesterday and lost his sponsors and all that crap overnight kind of deal, and then he was fired this morning.
I didn't even see it until I saw that McDonald's news.
Saw you guys messaged, somebody posted it on here, and I didn't believe it, and I checked it, then I realized, and yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a joke, and I was like, what did that mean? And I didn't get it, and then hours later I saw the...
It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
It's a cruel reality that should never have happened.
Yeah.
Word.
Anthony
All right, let Anthony, let him close this shit out.
Yeah, we've held him on too long.
Yeah. I'm out of here then.
He wants to go
See you
eat
tomorrow
lunch.
night.
The future is unknown for Kyle Larson, but we know one thing: he did get fired. So.
I'm gonna start my team on high.
Hey, thanks to Mattiello for keeping our points for the iMenX series. Thanks to who the heck Hoodlum won the last race at Bristol, And that's about it. So.
That lucky
Yeah,
bastard.
maybe I won't be last in points after this race.
4 hours of racing right there.
Right.
4 hours of racing just right there.
I'm out of here. Thanks to everybody out there in chat. Thank you for watching so long, everyone.
All right, we're gonna start fourth actually. Never mind. Fourth to end this race. Not bad out of 10 drivers.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
I'm running out.